Here we are at the Adams Gap Trailhead to do sections 6 and 7. And I'm taking Drew with me today. And he has got the same problem I have, except it's the other knee. And it is a cold morning. Last night was about 30 degrees in these mountains. So it'll be a nice, no sweat hike.
You gotta get a jacket.
What?
You gotta get a jacket.
Okay. Alright. I think we got Drew warm now. The Cheaha Wilderness is an area that you can't have any man-made items in there. And so, for a while they even took the blazes off the trees. I think they've allowed them to put them back now. Yeah, that's a good spot. See where they marked the blaze off this tree? Because it's a wilderness area. They left it on this side. And the air is finally warming up. What you think, Drew? Well, we're on the way to the stairway. About 1.5 miles and we'll be there. The trail's easy now, and then when you get to the stairway to about the 3.6 mile marker, the fun starts. When we get to the top, I'll ask Drew to give his thoughts on the stairway. Here we are in one of the switchbacks as it really gets steep. The trail is real easy to see, and then all of a sudden it's in a rock pile, and it's difficult to see, especially if you're tired. So today the stairway is well marked, and there's really pretty flowers on it. And I'm speaking too soon probably, because I'll probably go right up here and take a wrong turn. I think the key to the treasure is it goes around the left side of the rocks. And if you try to go right, which I did one time, you'll have great difficulty. The blazes are back, and you can find them now. I spent 15 or 20 minutes just looking for a blaze here before. So thanks to everybody that blazed it better. Look at all the marks on this tree, guys. We're near here to the gates of heaven, the pearly gates. But boy, is this tough. So Drew, this is your first time on the stairway. What do you think about it?
Should have done some more Stairmasters.
That's great. The day is beautiful. No, there's a cloud in the sky. And as the day gets longer, it seems to get warmer. But if you step out to the north face of this thing, the wind is terrible. Right, I may be too big for this log. I've always been clumsy. It's just gotten worse as I've gotten older. This is the briar patch area, right before you get to the massive rock garden. And the briars are just coming out, and it kind of hugs the edge of this cliff. And there's lots and lots of rocks. The section 6 is a tough section. It's only 11 and a little bit of change miles long, but it's tough. And the views up here are really good. So it's 2:44 and we're about 1.5 miles from the end of the section 6, the Cheaha section. And we have walked through the rock garden that never gets any better. But it is much easier to do that with somebody with you. When you do it by yourself, it seems like I get lost every time. So we're getting close now to McDill Point and the crashed airplane. I think there's another airplane. This is part of a crashed airplane. I guess this mountain catches them. Yep. And all that's left, just a few scraps of metal. So we're on the McDill Overlook Trail, and here's the rest of the plane. I guess it lost some of its plane parts up there and then finished up down here. Like I say, a tough night. This is the last good view on section 6. Other side of the mountain. Here we come to the plaque from Cheaha to Springer Mountain to Maine. Well, here we are near the end of section 6, and this has been a hard 11 miles. There's about a tenth of a mile or two to go. And we're aiming to make 2 more miles and go to the Blue Mountain Shelter tonight. It's 4:15, and we can do it if we hurry and be there at 5:30 with plenty of daylight. So here we are on starting section 7. We've got 2 miles to the Blue Mountain Shelter. It seems like we've walked for 10 miles instead of the 2 on this section, but the Blue Mountain Shelter is right there. Long shadows as we come to the Blue Mountain Shelter. So we set up camp out here last night because somebody had their tent set up in the shelter. I don't know if I filmed that or not, but they did. So we ate and then came out here. And it was a cold night last night, but I wasn't cold because I brought the biggest sleeping bag in the country. Coffee in the morning. Tell us, Drew, how'd you sleep?
Pretty good. Feet a little cold, but good.
Okay. Drew had my sleep system because he couldn't fit this monster sleeping bag that we had in my pack. So yesterday a lady was joking with me about me having the biggest pack on the whole Pinhoti that she'd ever seen. But last night I was warm with that monster thing. I think it's made for car camping. I let Drew have my sleep system and he made it, thank goodness. This is my new tent from REI. I decided that this one was too heavy, and I could actually save about 2 pounds with this one. It's a one-man tent. It had a lot of condensation in it today, but I really liked it as far as everything else goes. I haven't stayed in a one-man tent before, and it was kind of small, but it's pretty good. So here we are starting out on Saturday morning, the second day, in section 7 of the Pinhoti. And hopefully we're through with rock gardens and stairways for a little while. We slept good for a long time, even though there was somebody that had pitched a tent in the shelter. So there's no way we could get in the shelter. And they were already in bed at 5:30 or 6. So here we go. To the left of the trail here is Ball Rock at Cheaha. And you can actually take a side trail up to Ball Rock, which is well worth doing if you've never been to Ball Rock. Well, the rocks on the Pinhoti never cease, and somebody's had to cut a big tree out of the trail here. But they've done a good job. There are lots of seeps that aren't normally here. Plenty of water after all this rain, which kind of makes you think, what have we got ahead of us that we may have to wade through? Right over here to the left is a car with a lawn chair parked in the middle of the woods. Very interesting. I guess this Forest Service road is accessible. Probably where a lot of these people that are running the trail are parking. This is one of the 3 spring crossings that go through this canyon, this Z-shaped canyon here. And it is really nice today, and I think it's pretty reliable. This is a trillium, comes from a bulb, and I'm not sure it's not a protected flower. I found some growing in my yard, however, and they grow really nicely. I'm gonna try to ford Hillby Creek here without taking off my shoes. Wish me luck. Uh-oh. This is a real good campsite on both sides of Hillby Creek. And there's absolutely reliable water. A good bit of it's in my boots. These butterflies are getting salt out of this fire ring. And that's what they're doing. And There were a cluster of them before I got out the camera, but I think they're camera shy. I camped here last October on the way to Pine Glen. This is a good campsite. Here we are walking on a roadbed, and we're looking for a gold mine shaft on the left that's been filled in. And we're turning on the road that it's supposed to be at, but you're supposed to be able to see it, but that was 15 years ago, so who knows if you can see it today or not. So here it is. Here it is, the mine shaft, the gold mine shaft. I missed it last time I was here. It's pretty cool. It's a big hole, and they filled it in. There would be tunnels under the ground, and it would go trying to follow the vein of gold. Anyway, it's on the logging road, and it's just about exactly where they said it would be. Not only we do trail maintenance, we do art. This is a Pinhoti symbol.
You can get a picture of me.
Yeah. Here we are in our road walk. Somebody's going to stop like they did at Cave Spring and offer me an MRE because they thought I was homeless. So we see the ferns, a different species, making its appearance along the trail. We're getting close to what they call Moonshine Gulch, and we're getting really close to where we're going to camp for the night. We've made nearly 13 miles again today, but it was a lot easier 13 miles than Stairway to Heaven in the Rock Garden. Here we are in Moonshine Gulch, and there's the Moonshine Barrel. This is Little Hillaby Creek. And there's cascades all along the creek as it falls over these rocks. This is the large cascade, and it is a good one. And I told Drew, I was just telling Drew last time I was here, the gut hook says go right up to the cascade, and I thought it said go right up the cascade, so I did. So I climbed that last time with a pack, because there was no way in the world I was leaving my pack again anywhere. This is a really pretty place. Just don't try to climb it unless you've got a death wish.
Looks like a fun climb, Dad.
Oh, it's great, Drew. Thank you. Actually, the trail turns here and goes right across this. And last time I was here, thank you, Drew. Thank you, Drew. That's great. Yes, that's what it says do.
Not up there.
You're great. And last time I was here, all these trees that Hurricane Zeta gifted us with were not here. Drew and I have made the decision to not set up a tent and not go another step from my favorite cascade in the whole wide world. You can even see it. And Drew has got the ground pad from the tent out. And he is getting ready to sleep out in the open, as they say, cowboy style, like the rest of them. This place is cool. I got a rock for a pillow. Just have to come over here and see it. I have a rock for a pillow and a rock for a chair, and Drew has a chair, and we have a little fire ring. Drew and his coffee. I managed to not slide down in the creek. It's right there. The air looks heavy with water as the sun draws moisture from the wet leaves from a heavy dew last night. The sun is already warming the air, and we're warming ourselves by climbing this mountain. So here we come to the end of the trail just all of a sudden. We've been 29 miles counting the time we went to the McDill Overlook at Cheaha to see the airplane. It's been a pretty easy morning, and we're done. What do you think about it, Drew, after you just finished your 29 miles?
Pretty good. Probably should have put the tent up the second night.
Why?
Got a little cold.
Yeah. What about the rocks? You want to do that again pretty soon?
No rocks for me. I'll go back to Florida.